Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the stream. We're going to have a good time this morning. We're on the S&P 500 chart. We got a move down overnight, so let's get right to figuring out where our channels are at and what possible setups we might have. Good morning, Bang. How's it going? Got a bit of a range overnight here, and then we dropped. It's exactly what happened yesterday, actually. And we got a big move down, so we're gonna have to try to figure out how to drop this. I don't think it's gonna end up being a bigger channel, but we'll see. Throw that on just in case. Otherwise, it looks like we have a spike down. Maybe a secondary channel here. Chart has a break and new low. All right, well, let's see how the Nasdaq's rocking. We're right around yesterday's low a day, so I'm gonna mark that level. And yeah, pretty much same thing. Possible wider channel. And if that is not valid, then we definitely have the spike down secondary channel that looks like it's already played out. Yeah, something along these lines. Good morning, North Country. Anyone else out there rolling in? Be sure to say what's up as you're coming in. All right, we're gonna flip back over to the S&P. So since we have a possible playing out of the bearish channel, if we ignore the big channel and we're just looking at this move down and this secondary channel, it already has a break right here, new low right here. So we'd be expecting a bounce coming off of yesterday's low day as well. So want to be cautious here about taking a short position. We don't know if the larger channel is in play yet. So what we're going to wait for is this move up to play out with a break, which it already has, and then hopefully a new high or an attempt at a new high. And once we do that, and you know, maybe even bounce off the top of this channel and then head on down, we'd be safe to short. Right now, not quite safe to short, even though we're going down here. This channel can still get a new high. So we're just gonna have to be patient, see how it develops. We're also going, if we were to take a short right around this area, we're going right into yesterday's low a day right now. Hey, good morning, Thomas. And same thing on the Nasdaq. We don't know if this larger channel is valid yet. We're gonna need to wait till this area to see. If we're playing the shorter channels, again, we have both these channels working, has a break and a new low. So assume that that is probably played out and we're expecting a bounce, which we're starting to get. So let's let that bullish bounce play out with a break and new high. And then a push below the EMA would signify that we're ready to short again. So what do we have? I remember this week is just crazy with news. Yesterday was Fed speak along with ISM, manufacturing. Today, oh, we have JOLTS today. Okay, so 10 a.m. today is going to be the JOLTS number. That's definitely going to move the market, so we want to be cautious there. Make sure we're flat by that time. Morning, Archer. Looks like we are testing yesterday's low of day again. So this correction bounce may not actually get a new high. Let's see. Oh, crazy. We might just do a straight V reversal here and make a new low. Watching the overnight low pretty closely here, because would also not be surprised if we bounce off it and settle into some sort of range like this. But look for that as another possibility. After a big move down like this, oftentimes the market needs to digest and we'll settle into a range for a while. We got about 12 minutes before the open here. And no real setup. Again, we want to, the potential of all our smaller trends playing out with that low there. We were wanting to see a correction really play out before we decide to take a short. And yeah, we just have this move up straight down, and this technically is a second entry if this triggers right here, but we're not by the EMA. I still think there's a good chance we bounce in here. So right now there's no real trade, just waiting for everything to set up. Good morning, Thomas Sky. How's it going? Flip into the NAS. Also just consolidating right here around yesterday's low of day. And you gotta take a look at it. There's just a lot of 3 different touches at that level. 1, 2, 3. So pretty significant. Like there was some action around that level here as well. So price is just failing to really make any progress below that level. Every time has resulted in a bounce. So another reason to favor these shortened channels that already have been resolved, and we would expect a bounce here. Back on the S&P, we do look like we got maybe a failed second entry long forming, push down, first entry. I guess we haven't made a second pullback yet. Maybe on some charts there's a pullback here for the second entry. But I'm saying that not as a trading setup, but just to note, this is looking pretty congested here. Again, we're right at yesterday's low of day, so I don't think this is a good trade setup, but just so that you're always have the count in your mind. I think that's important to always have that internalized, know where the market's at, where potential setups might be. So that when the count is in your favor in a good context, you can execute it without having to think too much. Archer says he has more spiking channel, even more. Yeah, I mean, maybe we could widen it. Seems to fit pretty good. But still for me, too consolidated right at yesterday's low day. I'm gonna hold off on this. Continuing to consolidate here. We got about 6 minutes to the market open, so this thing is starting to turn into a coiled spring. And I would bet you anything here in it'll probably stay right around this level, and then once the market opens, it's either going to have a big bounce or a big drop. And I don't think there's any way you could really predict that as far as which way it's going to go. Morning, those of you who are just coming in, welcome. Glad you're here. Push above the EMA here. Can't predict it unless you've read Joe's trading book. There you go. There you go. For a small price of $49.99, you can buy my trading book. Maybe someday, maybe someday. The Nasdaq still has not gone above its EMA yet. In fact, putting in a bearish candle, it looks like. ES closed above the EMA here. This is exactly what I was saying. Right when we had this move up, that hey, we need to let this thing play out with a break and a possible new high. And you start to get this drop. That is not enough. You really need to see this thing play out, and this is exactly why. If you went short in here, all of a sudden you're suffering. So yeah, and price action gave us those clues when we had these short channels that already had breaks and new lows, especially if you had this how we had it, like so. This thing already has a break and new low. We're expecting a bounce here, and that's exactly what happens. It looks like we might even get the second leg. Matthew, good morning, good morning. Thomas is asking, is trading a hobby or something more? I'd definitely say it's something more. I mean, it's a hobby in that I enjoy it, but no, been able to develop consistency and maybe someday even have it replace my job as well. We'll see. That's a big mental jump. I think I don't feel ready for it yet, having to rely on it solely for income. Definitely hoping to get several streams of income going, so I don't have that kind of psychological pressure, or to, yeah, if you have a losing day, all of a sudden there's no bread on the table. So anyway, Matthew, welcome back from vacay. Nice, that's awesome. Where'd you end up going? Oh, excellent. Nice, Matthew. I've never been back that way, so sounds fun. All right, guys, we're just about to have our market open. And let's see how that trading range I drew earlier comes into play. Looks like it might. We'll find out here. I think we've gone a little bit beyond a measured move. Let's find out. Right around it. If you put this on the body, it's really, really close. This would make a lot of sense for prices to reverse right here. Two measured legs up. 1, 2. This is the third touch on this range. Most breakouts of a trading range fail, so moving down here would make a lot of sense price action wise. And looks like that's what we're doing. Why you gotta learn to read price action, man. You can see moves happening before they even happen. I think that's also be a breakout of this larger possible trading range, but it didn't really react at all, so I don't really know about drawing it anymore. Either way, we're looking for a short. We get a failed second entry long. Here's our first entry. Get one more pullback and a second entry that fails right around there. I like that. We might go too low before that happens, but we'll see. Oh man, bummer. We're moving too far up on that one. So no longer consider that failure. Going up to test that level yet again. On the Nasdaq, it doesn't really look as much like a trading range, but we definitely have this resistance right here that is trying to get above right now. Bit of a bullish bias coming into this range that we drew. Got a low, higher low, higher low, a high, a higher high. If we can put in one more higher high, that would definitely confirm it. And would not be surprised, because this was really our chance to go all the way to the bottom of the range here after we had tested the top, and then boom, we get right below the EMA and it shoots right back up, right off the midline of that range. So this feels like it's going to go higher at this point. The Nasdaq is still testing its breakout area. Oh no, is your chart different? Again? Not again! Thanks for calling that out, Thomas. Trying to see if I can. Want to make sure all my settings are good, so I'm not screwing anything up on the back end. Did that change my chart? I wasn't really looking. Does it look better now, Thomas? It did, okay. I'm looking into my settings to see if I can get. I'm trying to remember what I changed the other day that helped with that chart refresh deal. Shoot, I don't really remember where it was. Had something to do with the data. Yeah, it was the market data. Can't remember where that was. Yeah, data series, no. There's something in the options of Ninja Trader. Tools, options. Yeah, there you go. Tools, options, general. Now we're cooking with peanut oil there. Market data. Yeah, that was it. Tools, options, market data, preferred connections. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, it's fine though. It's still set on Ninja Trader. Bummer. You took that higher low, huh, Johnny? Yeah, that's what I would be cautious there, is that we were right at the top of that range. Over on the Nasdaq, this channel is starting to look pretty dang good. Now that we're above that previous resistance, we could look for a long, get a nice second entry here. The ES, I think it's a little bit too wide to try to identify a channel, except to trap people. This would be a good area to trap longs who are trusting too much in this wide channel. I bet you it's gonna bust through here. The Nasdaq still looking quite bullish. Maintaining above that breakout area. Nice push above there. That bar finished really well. That's technically a second entry too. So if you're really believing in that uptrend, there's your entry. Pull back, first entry long, pull back, second entry long. Nice bullish bar. I don't like it. You know, it looks to me like we're kind of forming a wedge here. Rather than a legitimate channel. A little bit dicey. All right, the Nasdaq is right at that key level. Again, I was looking for perhaps a second entry long. This would actually be it. Next time a bar goes above a previous bar. See if we can tick lower and finish bullish here. See how this bar finishes on the Nasdaq. No dice, did not finish bullish. That didn't really set up, so we're just going to need a higher low here on the Nasdaq to trade it. While we're waiting for that setup, make sure you are liking the stream. Helps me out, encourages me to make content, helps the YouTube algorithm. It does a lot of things, and it's a simple click for you, so we definitely appreciate it. Like it's gonna rock it up with no setup for us. It's like price action playing out perfectly on the Nasdaq here. Big move up. We have our break, expecting a new high, and boom, there it is. Well, I think that's a double top technically, but that's likely gonna push up here and make a new high. Back on the ES, definitely just some choppy action overall. Gosh, well, that's frustrating. Thank you for letting me know, Thomas, though, that my charts are different. I mean, they're not going to be perfect, right? No two charts are the same, but if it starts out as the same as yours and then it's drastically different, that's where I'd be concerned. But otherwise, there's going to be variation. That's what I really want to know. If it starts out the same and progressively gets worse and worse and worse, that's when I'm going to be concerned. If it's a little different, that's fine. It's going to happen. We do technically already have a new high on the Nasdaq, so super wise to consider a long position. We're still holding this level. EMA is still holding. As we got like a 1 tick new high, so it's not like we got a legitimate new high. If we get a nice move down that turns really bullish, I might consider taking this. That's right, we do have jolts coming out here at 10 a.m. again. We want to be flat before that, and we got to push down below the EMA, back below that resistance on the Nasdaq, so we can pretty much forget about a long there. On the ES, we're expecting the Nasdaq to move down. The ES is still looking range-like as well. If we can push back into the range, I do like looking for a short position here. Oof, that bar is tempting for a failed second entry long. Didn't finish bearish though. Might work regardless. Dang, look at that move up ahead of the news. Even if you had a wider channel. Oh wait, no, I was gonna say overshoot, but maybe not. That's the channel you got, Greg, right on. Yeah, I think that move up definitely solidified it for me. And would still be looking for a long here. Do have news in 10 minutes, so I doubt that we'll get a setup. And even if we do, it might be right into the news, which would not be wise, obviously. And on the Nasdaq, We're actually expecting a move down. We have this bullish channel, break, new high. So this is where you'd expect the market to correct a bit. Like we might be reaching for that gap fill up here. Same on the ES. Got that gap above us. Oops. Shoot, I moved the line. Gotta refigure it out. There we go. All right, we're moving down off of the top of that channel. Craig says, what are the odds? We have a beautiful second entry long right into the news. You know, that's been known to happen. Those dang algorithms are toying with us. Take it, it looks so good into the news. Price is rejected at the EMA there so far. This is likely going to be our first entry right here. From this high, once we get a move above a previous bar, it's going to be our first entry. Hasn't happened yet. We're still just on our first pullback. There we go, our first entry. We can get one more pullback. EMA holds, nice bullish bar, second entry. Gonna be hard to skip, but it will likely happen right at the news. My bars are very different now. So question, Johnny and others, do my bars start the same and then they progressively get more and more different? Is that what you're experiencing? Yes, okay, bummer. This is not what I want to hear. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're gonna change some settings here. See if this helps at all. Good now. Keep in mind, guys, again, tick charts will always look different. They're never going to be exactly the same. So little differences is not a big deal, but if my chart starts the same and then gets more and more and more different, like progressively, that's different. That's a different problem. Still wanting that second entry long, but we again are 4 minutes away from the news here. So that's gonna be no bueno. It was off by like 5 ticks at least. Wow. Yeah, that's no bueno. Alright, well, if it looks the same now, let me know, please, if it gets way off. Here we go. We're moving down to the EMA. Again, this is right where I'd want that second entry long to happen, but gosh, so dang close to news. It's risky. Thomas's chart issues are giving you anxiety. Me too. Me too. You and me both, buddy. Oh man, I really want to take this second entry here. Will my better judgment win out? I don't know. Yeah, my better judgment's gonna win out, guys. I'm not gonna do it. Hey, yeah, totally, Johnny. But if we get a good signal bar, man, it's gonna be really hard. We also have triple test right here. 1, 2, 3 touches at the same level. Press the buy button. Away from me, tempter. But yes, a buy is looking pretty good. If it weren't for the news. Yeah, either I make big bucks or I'm not funded anymore. Okay, yeah. It's not a bad risk to take, right? Either rich or homeless. Oh, Archer, I hope you're not in with live money. That's just a straight gamble, my friend. Oh. Ooh, wee. And that is why we don't trade news, folks. Plot twist. Archer was actually short the whole time. Always short the news. Except when you shouldn't. Big ol' move down. Yeah, Thomas, I would say the uptrend is definitely dead at this point. News can always screw things up, but price action playing out really nicely on the Nasdaq. We were expecting a drop there. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, never good when you're itching to take a trade. Doesn't usually go well. Continuing that movement down, we may have like a wide channel developing here. These channels match on both the indices. We'll go with that for now. Coming up on the overnight low here. Let's see if we consolidate yet again, form another base so that we can go up, or if it'll actually break this time. There's a first entry short. We can get back up to that EMA on a second entry short. I do like that. Greg, do not get that song in my head. No. I'm going to be Top Gun all day. Bummer, that was a great context for a short there, but we did not get a setup. Big move down, break of the channel right here, expecting a new low. This is where we would want the second entry short to form, and nothing, we just dropped down. But great context, price action playing out nice there. Looks like the Nasdaq has perhaps a slight break in the channel right here with the new low. So this, unless we're about to just drop off into nowhere's land, it would make sense that we'd bounce here on both charts. Break a new low on the S&P and the Nasdaq. We're right at the low of the day, and yesterday's low of the day. So a big area that has been consolidation, that has been kind of a base support for the market. I'm gonna pop over to the 10K, see if there's anything any insight we can gather over here. Same, just noticing this level right here that we're starting to peak below. And if that holds, we can definitely get a big drop. Let's check it where we're at on the daily chart. Breaking below that daily consolidation. Again, this is the second leg of bearish correction on the daily, so you know this would be an area where it makes a lot of sense to bounce. So we could end up getting, this could end up as a bullish hammer and really take off to the upside. Yeah, we might be headed for this low though. Sweep those lows, and even if we do bounce, get some of those orders before the market goes higher. All right, headed back to the 2000 tick chart. Thomas says, not too sure. We had a break of the downtrend on the ES. Yeah, as we were continuing lower, you want to reassess that a little bit. This spike down on the news and then a secondary channel forming. Greg, you're just trying to get all the songs in our head today, huh? Free Falling, Danger Zone. What else we got? Yeah, so this secondary channel looks pretty decent on the ES. May have something similar on Nasdaq. Thomas is asking, what if it is one channel on the ES? Well, we'll see. We'll see how that looks. I don't think so. I mean, usually when you have, usually when you have a spike down like that, it is two things going on because that's such an impulsive move. And so those impulsive moves aren't usually the start of the channel. Usually the real trend comes afterwards, so I would definitely favor this over one larger channel. Might be interested in a short here if it sets up right. Gotta get back to the EMA here. You have one entry there, another move up. This EMA can hold and we get a second entry. Not be a bad choice. We haven't even really had a pullback yet on the Nasdaq. That does make me think the ES will probably go higher without really giving a short setup because the Nasdaq need some time to correct here. Order canceled. What were you doing over there, Archer? What kind of order did you get, my man? Nasdaq starting to push below the EMA here. That's nice. Maybe we'll get a second entry short here. Meanwhile, the ES starting to drop below the EMA. Not sure, I'm contemplating here whether or not I'll take the second entry short on the Nasdaq or wait for like a failed second entry long just for more confirmation. Did not get a tick higher there anyway. I am liking the second entry short a little bit more on the Nasdaq if it sets up. We do need a bit of a pullback to the EMA. But if we can get that, I'd consider the second entry short here. So far, no dice. It's moved down too far. On the ES, we don't really have much either. This is all one big pullback. We don't even get a first entry until right here, and then another pullback. We don't even have a second entry, so it's just kind of dropping. Floor is falling out of this one. We've already reached a new low. Well, here you go, folks. Looks like we might finally be capitulating. So we could see a massive market drop here, and then look out for just crazy green candles out of the blue that just keep stacking. Chart is different again. Oh, fun times. Good times. Toad, what? Saying that the market might finally be capitulating. A lot of big market drops end on like a really big impulsive move down, and then lows in and it just takes off. Johnny is asking, can I try using use instrument settings for trading hours and data series? Yeah, I'll give that a whirl. Although Mac has recommended to not do that. That's the one reason that I don't just use instrument settings. He says to use the CME trading hours. but maybe I'll try it out. What do I got to lose? Oh yeah, money. All right, we'll see if that does anything. I got use instruments settings here. All right, well, big move down. I did reload. I'll reload one final time just for kicks and giggles. This is a second entry short here, but you can see this being where we'd bounce here. I can't really find a larger channel, larger bearish channel, that is. Maybe something like that. See if we can get a similar channel, pardon me, on the Nasdaq. Yeah, that looks better, I would say, on the Nasdaq. A lot more confirmed. Currently in a correction channel here. Bonnie's saying it doesn't look good on the 10K. Let's take a look at that. Okay, maybe you can get this sucker going. Looks pretty dang good. Is that where I have it drawn here? Where do we got it drawn? No, we have it drawn from the second swing. We have it drawn from here. Pretty good there. See if we can move it below the EMA. We can get a failed second entry long. I like that here. On the Nasdaq, I might just take a lower high. Context is really good here for a short. Looking for that failed second entry long. We're pretty far down below the EMA though. I don't know if we're going to end up getting it. Yeah, we got a big bar. So here we go. Let's see if this can materialize. Still so far from the EMA, I can't really take that. That was the failed second entry long there. Didn't take it as it was far from the EMA. But we're still awaiting a new low of our large downtrend. There's still room to get maybe like a second entry short or something that forms. We can still consider taking a trade here. Bars aren't looking the same at all. Man. Oh, I don't know what the heck's going on with that. Thought I had it figured out last time when I changed my data settings. Move above the EMA, so that kind of nullifies our short there. However, Nasdaq looking pretty decent in that regard. If we can turn down sharply here. Waiting for a failed second entry short, meaning you're trying to go long. All right. High possibility that we settle into a trading range here. Yesterday I had a fly in my office. Today I got a mosquito. It is aiming to kill right now. If you see any frantic movements, me trying to not get my blood sucked. All right, moving back down. All right, let's see if the bottom of this range gets confirmed here. Reloading my chart yet again. Man, oh man, I gotta figure that out when I'm off stream. The lower high confirmation. My chart may be different. I don't see any lower high confirmation. I see just a pullback here. First entry short. Another pullback, second entry short. Yes, but I do have the lower high right before the large bear bar. I don't have, this isn't a lower high here. This ticks higher than the previous bars. It's not a lower high. Unless yours is in fact lower. Mine's not. Alright, looks like we might get a little failed breakout here. I'm definitely not going to try to, excuse me, buy against this large bear move. But it looks like the range might be holding. On the Nasdaq, failed second entry long did end up forming here. Pullback, first entry, pullback, second entry. Slightly green bar. I didn't want to risk that personally. If this had been my signal bar, I would have taken that. But now we're just chopping around, bounced off the bottom, actually made a new low there. So even if we have this larger channel, that's played out. Same on the ES. We do technically have a new low here, so would expect to pause on shorts for a bit. I would expect the market to bounce here, as we have this big channel that already has a break and a new low. So we need to monitor a bounce here and let it play out before we consider taking another short. On the Nasdaq, same deal. Move down, break, new low, expecting a bounce. That is what we are getting so far. On the Nasdaq, watch for potential range as well. Right here. Perhaps a small overshoot of that correction on the ES and dropping down here. Greg says, I hate it when I see a clear context. It is confirmed, but no entry. This is where motion management comes into play. For sure. For sure. One way to reframe that, I think, because obviously I think we've all probably experienced that. I certainly have, like, oh man, and you guys see it on the stream every day. Okay, I'm expecting a long here. Oh man, all right, let's get ready. And then no setup, but then boom, market goes higher. And that happens all the time. So it can definitely be frustrating because I'm like, no, obviously, hey, this is the opportunity to trade and it doesn't present itself. But a way to reframe that is, man, you should really revel in the fact that you are able to predict what the market is about to do. Like, are you kidding me? You're able to predict what the S&P 500 is going to do in the next minute. Like, that's amazing. So if you can do that all day, like, oh, yep, this is a good time for a short, boom, and it shorts. Or this is a good time for a long, boom, and it goes higher. Even if you're not getting the actual setup, like, dude, that's amazing. So that should give you a lot of confidence for when it does set up perfectly. Like, it's going to be a no-brainer. You can put that trade on in your sleep and trust that you have an edge over the long term. So I totally get what you're saying, and it can for sure be frustrating, but hopefully you can try to reframe that a bit and make it actually a really positive thing. We are hopping around in this range now. On the Nazi, we got a little failed breakout going. That's actually a second entry short as well. If we get a lower high confirmation, I might go short here on the Nasdaq. Greg says, a tip to draw ranges. I use Fibonacci with only 0 to 50 to 100 and it was always horizontal. Ooh, that's a good idea. A good idea. I used to have a range tool when I had the price action toolbar. So I still have that somewhere. I need to re-import it into NinjaTrader because with all the problems that I've been having technical wise, I pretty much have deleted my NinjaTrader several times and reinstalled it fresh. So and tried to only use the essentials to make sure that some of those third-party tools and stuff weren't causing any problems. So now that we're more stable, except for this bar refresh junk, I might get that price action toolbar back. B Synergy, what is up? All right, am I looking for a third confirmation to take a trade? Just depends on the context, which trade you're talking about. In general, the setup I'm looking for is a second entry, so a second confirmation. Robin is asking, what is the order entry indicator you have? We were talking about this thing over here in my order entry tool. It's a custom one that I've had built, that I use, and I'm considering making it available. I'm considering selling it because it's really useful. It'd help out a lot of people. So that may be pending. We'll see on that. All right, flipping back to the S&P. Yeah, there you go, Greg. Oh, I missed it too. Hey, you and I are in the same boat on that. That was a beautiful lower high on the ES. I was looking at the Nasdaq. Right here. Nice lower high, bearish bar below the EMA. Also like a confirmation of a first entry short, second entry short visually, and then you got that lower high. So that looks pretty dang good to me. But I also missed it, and hey, we're gonna chill. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. There'll be another setup for us. So no need to let our emotions go crazy. Nasdaq having a big failed breakout there. Oops. Definitely a new low now. If there was any doubt before this big channel getting a new low right here, which is by a couple ticks. Definitely got one here. So expecting a possible market bounce at this point. Reloading my chart again, just continuing to monitor. And yeah, my bars keep changing every time I reload, so not a good sign. I have to do a little investigation after I get off the stream. May be a failed second entry short coming up here. I'm not personally going to trade it just because of how bearish the bias has been, but just so that you're always able to keep the count in your head. from this low. We have a pullback. First entry short. That's the first time that bar goes lower than the previous bar. We have one more pullback. And this right here is our second entry short when we go lower below that bar. So second entry short. And then we may get the failure right here. This may bounce us higher. Hard for me to take that second entry short just because we just made the new low of the larger downtrend. Yeah, it's definitely tempting. This would technically be our second entry long here. You know, I'm not really looking for a long with the overall bearish bias of the day. But here it is. Greg, did you end up taking that failed second entry short there? There's a second entry long for anyone who is interested. I just can't trade against this strong bearish bias today. So not a setup I'm going to take. And it would have failed instantly. Why you stay out of that stuff. Alright, with another push below the EMA, especially if we make a new low, we might start looking for a wider channel, or a different channel at least. Trying to see if anything jumps out at me visually. Seeing these tops going down, so that is something that's kind of standing out on the chart. Maybe something like this. I don't really like it too much though. It'd be interesting if we bounce here. The Nasdaq, let's see if we can also figure out some sort of bigger channel. Might inform what we do on the S&P. Yeah, it doesn't really look like it. Something like this, but a lot of white space there. I don't like it too much. I think we'll wait till something really obvious pops up. Starting to poke below that channel we drew. Gonna keep experimenting with different options. Don't really like anything, to be honest. That may be the overshoot that really propels us higher. We shall see, folks. Either way, we're pretty far down to be considering a short and way too bearish to be considering a long. So kind of no matter where our channel is, this is a good spot in the chart to wait a little bit. Had some really good moments contextually that didn't play out, and this is not a good moment contextually here. Consolidation here at the bottom of that potential channel on the Nasdaq. Yeah, same deal. Little mini range forming here. This just drops here. I mean, this is going to be super strong bearish bias. And that's when we might start considering like some mediocre setups. Don't quite fit right. Like when you have a really strong trend, you got to fudge a little bit and things don't have to look quite as good. We may get in that situation here pretty soon if the market keeps dropping. Greg has 3 good trades that were not filled in 2 days. Frustrating, but as I said, it means you're right. Exactly. Yep. You see a trade do exactly what you thought it was going to do, be encouraged, even if you didn't get in it. The next time it happens, you will, and you're going to rake it in. All right, Greg, take it easy, man. The S&P starting to look like this was a overshoot. An overshoot will generally create a strong move in the other direction. Starting to see a potential secondary channel here on the Nasdaq. Something along those lines. What's up, cute pets and animals? What's going on? That's the first time I've ever said that sentence in my life. What's up, cute pets and animals? Good to have you. I am using NinjaTrader for my charting and trading on with a prop firm, Apex Trader Funding. So yeah, the data gets pulled from Rhythmic. Here's all the info on the prop firm I use. There's actually a 90% discount going on right now. And then as far as charting, it's all Apex. I mean, sorry, all NinjaTrader. And when you do, one of the cool things about doing using Apex as your prop firm is you get a free lifetime license of NinjaTrader as long as you're using their accounts. So all of the lifetime benefits of NinjaTrader, you know, chart trading and like the super DOM and all the stuff that you can't get on the free version, you get access to. So that's pretty cool. We're kind of hanging out around the bottom of this channel. Might need to take a little bit more of an aggressive angle here. Still waiting for this bullish correction to play out here on the ES. We're a little bit too low to short. ATT asking during the Apex evaluation, do we have to pass the account within a certain date? No. No. There's no, you have to trade a minimum of 7 days to actually like earn the right to be funded, but there's no time limit. You can take as long as you need, and then you just pay the monthly fee. And right now, if you're doing it during this discount, the first month is 90% off, and then all months after that are 80% off. So for a 50K account, it's like, I don't know, 20-30 bucks or something a month to get funded. So pretty dang good deal. And that way you can really take your time, not try to force things and trade too aggressively. You can just slowly build it and then pass, and then you're gonna get funded. Or, let's say you get crazy and you pass it in a day or two. What you can do is, because again, you have to trade at least 7 days, but if you pass it in the first day or two, you can basically just switch to micros and hit buy and close really quick, just to make one trade, winning or losing, like whatever it is, $2, and then that'll count as a trading day. So it's not like you're having to risk everything once you're past, just to reach the 7 days profit. 7 trading days rather. Yes, correct, TT. If you don't pass on the first month, you'd have to pay 80%. Well, no, you'd get 80% off on the second month. So let me do a quick napkin math here. What would that be? Trying to see how much they are. Okay, so 50K account, regular price is 167. So the first month it's gonna be 16 bucks. Crazy. $16.70. And then after that it's going to be 33 bucks a month. So still a super good deal, even if we go into that second month. All right, well, we got a range forming here, folks. Getting congested down in here. This is starting to develop into no trade zone for sure. Meanwhile, on the Nasdaq, still testing this channel out. It's actually looking pretty good. Holding prices pretty well. But you don't want to take a short right here at the bottom of the channel. We need to see some sort of correction first before we can feel confident in taking another short. May get a little overshoot here. And we got another move down on the S&P, breaking out of that range. And then on the Nasdaq, that looks like it may be an overshoot, unless we change our channels. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's all gonna fit. I'd have to play around with it a little bit more. Maybe like that. Doesn't look too bad, so I don't know. The main thing is we are super bearish today, if that's not obvious already. So anytime, all we're really looking for is a bullish correction to play out. So you don't need to get too crazy on the channels and all that. We just we want to see the bulls make an attempt here. What that would look like is move up, obviously, but then has a break and a new high. If you get 2 legs up like that, that's showing you that the bullish momentum is depleted. Move up, 1 attempt down, and then another move up, especially if they're 2 measured legs. That's when you're going to know, okay, the bullish attempt is likely depleted. And then if you get a move down from there, it is safe to short again. So that's really all we're looking right now, is a bullish correction to play out and then a move down, and we can look to short again. Matthew says these days are always hard, not sure if and when a larger correction happens. Yeah, I think that's the way to kind of approach it, is if a smaller correction happens, just wait till it plays out, and then the EMA is going to be a big help in that. If you're pushing above the EMA and starting to hold above it, then you need to be cautious about maybe a larger correction. But if prices keep going back down under the EMA, then you're more clear to short. So that's how I'd approach the rest of the day today. I would only be looking on the short side unless we just get a massive bullish correction that develops. But hey, Pepe, what's going on? Yeah, so unless we get a massive bullish correction, you're just looking for bullish stuff to play out and looking for another opportunity to short. So with that, I am going to get on out of here. Yeah, so be looking for opportunities to short today. Again, y'all already know the info on the Apex sale. Only 2 more days for that, so take advantage if you want. And otherwise, trade safe, keep control of those emotions, wait for the best opportunities, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Later, everyone. Have a good one.